Good afternoon. Let me first really thank Aastha and the organizers who have made it possible for me to come and stand here today. Actually, what I have written and what I'm going to present seem to be two different things. In the sense, I've written the theory, the concept, whatever it's there for reading. But my idea is to look at myself, rather than talking about what has happened to people or what I have done that has done something to people. So why don't I share what has happened to me as a person in process, who has gone through the process itself and now helping others to go through it. So my whole thing is, this whole journey from being in, seeing myself as work in progress till I reached at a situation that I thought, look, I am not work in progress, I'm actually work in process. Because when I see on the road, they put all this, when road work is going on, they put work in progress. When I come tomorrow, that is not there, which means that work is finished. And I have been in this work in progress for how many years? Yet I'm not finished. Then that's where I started thinking, what am I doing to myself? So if I look at it, I have a princely birth. I'm born in a, your Maharaja's family. And what this privilege gave me is just clothed me with arrogance and stubbornness. And I grew in it. I behaved it. I was smelling it. To the extent that when I wanted to study in US, I'd gone to the US embassy the third time when they rescheduled my interview. I tore the papers and threw it and went off. When I came down to Punjab University to study, in the second year, the Nigerian High Commission in India was invited to Punjab University to come and intervene because of my stubbornness. Otherwise, they were to throw me out. When I came to Mysore University, I was in the men's hostel. I refused to eat the food in the mess. I used to cook in my room. Until one day, I didn't know that the hostel warden was there, and I was frying chicken. So he got the smell and came, and that night I was thrown out of the hostel. So remember I went home to get married. I told my mom I want to get married. And my mom and my sister, they advised me, they said, it's better you live as a bachelor because no woman can tolerate you. So, this is me. And I was not aware of it, though they were right. So by providence, I attended one training program in Search Institute, COPA. And one of the trainers, who happens to become my mentor, and finally my guru, and I have the luck that he is sitting here today, Mr. Vasudevan. He was the person who sort of introduced me to ISABs. And that is how it all started. So I realized that in these days, I was sacrificing my wholeness and to avoid intimacy. I had no intimacy. I was not sensitive to anybody. I was just doing things my own way. Sorry, which one is that? So when I attended my first lab in ISABS, and what I'm going to talk about is my experience through the ISABS process, not really in the whole concept of what we have. So when I went for my first lab in the so I was so disappointed because I was getting into training and I was looking for skills and tools and techniques of training. So I spent my money, I went to Agra. That time there was no flight to Agra from Delhi. Took a flight to Delhi and then taxi to Agra and spent 6 days spending my own money, and I could not get anything. I was so angry, very disappointed. So when I came back, that was the winter event. In the summer event, they invited me for the advanced lab. I said, nothing doing. You guys are cheats. Don't ask me to come. By the next winter event, they sent another listen. I said, no. Then my wife said, no, you have to go. I said, where should I go? No, Zeb, I think you. I said, no, I will not go. Tell me why. So she opened her bag and she brought out a paper, which I call her 21-point agenda. And she listed a list of 21 things that she observed as change in me. I don't remember anyone except the first one, where she says, now I can talk to Zeb. Now I can talk with Zeb. This really shattered me because I thought I wanted to prove my mother and my sister wrong, that I can take care of my wife. And I was doing everything, but I did not know that I didn't allow her to talk. I finished her talk for her. I had this assumption that maybe she doesn't know much. So when she said this, then I started thinking. So she used to sit like this by the side of the window, but that's not my wife, okay? And I sit here, but for confidentiality, what I'm holding there is a bottle of water, but you know what I mean. And this is how, it went on for quite some time, but I said, in my experience, in what I see, the content of this journey is very intense. I'm not sure whether I'm going to be able to do it. I was ready to look at what she's saying, but then what I could see inside, I became scared. If these things get opened, what is going to happen? But then I said, okay. So my first lab was like this, the BLHP. I did not see anybody, I did not see myself after the lab. So when I started looking at it, I thought, okay, this is a stranger's lab. Nobody knows me, so any question posed to me is an inquiry. So I wanted a learning, inquiry learning circle where I'd be able to, wonder, investigate, record, discover, think, try. So this is what, when I went to the second lab, that's the advanced lab, the same thing that happened in the first lab happened in the second lab, but the difference is that I was able to see myself and see people. Not the same people, but a similar group of people were there in the first lab, but I could not see anybody because I was looking for tools and techniques of training. Whereas the ISAPS-T group process was saying, stop, think, reflect, discover, decide to go on with the same behavior or to make a change. So I realized that, okay, what I needed is support. I needed people around me. I needed people in collaboration. I needed people that I will trust, who will inspire me, who will exchange their ideas and assist me, support me, lead me to success and share. So let's work as a team. So in that, I saw that I had gone into that lab as and I addressed other people as you, but when we finished that lab, I saw myself, saw other people, and I saw us. So it becomes, something that I would really say that one of the relationships that I formed in my LHP, I don't know that lady, I've not seen that lady. This was about 1998 or something. I've not seen that lady till this moment. She's in Mumbai. But she knows that I'm here today. We have been in touch from that time. We have not met each other. Recently, I joked with her that when I see you, you will not recognize me. So that type of relationship is what gave me the whole thing to say, okay, let me go through this grinding. Then I said, okay, I love chapatis. I like it. But how does it come? So I realized that the chapati is a very good food because the wheat seed, the grains, allowed itself to be powdered, allowed itself to go through this pain of grinding, and then it became a powder, and then it becomes chapati, and I eat it and enjoy it. So then I said, if I have to go through this, then I have to go through the pain and the painfulness of it. And I was really, especially my mentor, he was one person that sort of screwed my happiness in the beginning. Because I live in Mysore and he lives in Bangalore. I remember once I sent my logs to him by post. And he just returned it like that and told me that he doesn't have a mail runner. It doesn't have a mail runner because it came by post. Then I'll come from Mysore to Bangalore and go to his house. It takes me about 3 hours. Then we spend hardly 15 minutes and I have to go back and say, what is this? But that only now that I came to know that was the grinding that I was talking about. Because if he has done it, goody for me, I don't think I could have come to this level. So this is the whole thing that really mattered to me in the whole work. Because in the beginning, whatever I do, I have on assumptions that I don't question. On the basis of this assumption, I'll take an action, and I'll get result. Now, since I get result, maybe the result that I want, so this assumption became very constant that I don't go back to it. So I keep acting like that. Like my progress is, academic achievement, whatever I was doing. So I was not questioning anything, the behaviors that I was putting up. Because I have come from a rich family, I have come from a good distance. So whatever it is, that whole pomposity, I just assume that people have to respect me. You dare not give me a feedback. You dare not question my behavior. So this whole assumption. But when I came into this whole process walk through the T group of ISABs, the good thing that I realized is that I will make assumption, I will take it out, I will get a result. Now, through the feedback that I got through the process, now I started questioning my own assumptions. And this is what has made the difference for me, that today, if you ask me, what is T group process? As part of the whole process that we're talking about. So my definition is that it is this is what it is. Because this is what I personally discovered. Self-disclosure, sharing and that is where I came to say that, oh my God, my greatest strength is my vulnerability. Because I'm able to share, I'm able to tell what is happening. I'm able to own up. I'm able to take the pain of what otherwise. So one of the things that I thank, I thank goodness. I thank I thank India. I thank Wasu. I thank ISABs. Is that I realize that look, I am not a work in progress because I cannot be finished. Rather, I'm a work in process, and the whole thing continues and continues, and there is no end. Thank you so much.